To get started with the second part of the exercise, you should also have downloaded the 3 different color reference photographs from the Moodle page. By this time, you should also have finished the first part of the exercise where we built out the different parts of the house. In this part, we're actually going to build out 3 different houses inside of the remaining areas on our 3 different artboards. Now, before we get started, the first thing I want to do is limit the palette of colors that I'm going to be working in. Instead of using the default colors that come in my little swatches panel up here, I want to have just a small set of colors that I know will work harmoniously within a design. Now, there's 2 different ways you can do this. In the swatches panel, at the very bottom left-hand corner, there's a swatch libraries menu. And these are a variety of different predefined swatches based on different themes. So for instance, if I went to food and opened up something like ice cream, this will give me a separate panel of predefined swatches, all that have different ice cream related colors. Now, even within here, there's a lot of different colors I can pick and choose from. Even though they're all based on the same theme, that can be okay. But you can also make your own color themes based on existing images or even other designs. In order to do this, this is where those 3 different images are going to come in handy. To create your own swatches, we're going to open up your web browser and go to color.adobe.com. This will open up Adobe's online color wheel and color picker, and it's a great little resource to look at to be able to make your own themes. By default, it gives you a color wheel, and based on the kind of harmony you have selected, you can change up and it'll give you 5 different swatches to be able to use as your base color. Now, if you change up the harmony, that will change up how each one of these kind of interacts with each other. And because they're harmonious, this works out really, really good. The other thing you can do is use any kind of photograph, and that's where those 3 different photographs that we had for this part of the exercise will come in. To use a photograph, you can use Extract Theme, and it's going to ask you to drop in any one of those files. So let's go over to our file images, and you can pick one of these for now, but we're going to use all 3 of them by the end of this exercise. For now, I'm just going to choose the Easter egg colors and drag it into here, and automatically it'll start to pick out all of the different colors that it sees. And it'll change up the colors that it extracts based on the mood that you have. So if I choose bright or colorful, it'll pick out some different ones, muted, even deeper or darker colors. If you don't like the colors that are on here, you can always click on the edges. Like for instance, I think these 2 are a little bit too close together. So I'm going to click on this blue and bring it down to more of a darker shade of a blue. And I'll like that from there. Once you find the colors that you like, there's 2 different ways you can make your own themes and import them into Illustrator. First off, if you're logged into your own Adobe account and you're also logged into Adobe Online, you should be able to save this to your library and click Save and add it that way. For me personally, I don't like saving anything to my cloud library, so I just want to have a picture of this that I can pull the images and pull the pictures from. To save an image of anything that's on your screen, you'll need to make a screenshot. Now, if you're on a Macintosh computer, you can do Shift Command 4. This will turn your cursor into a little crosshair, and you can click and drag over an area to take a screenshot of just those 5 different swatches at the bottom. Again, Shift Command 4 does that. If you're on a Windows computer, depending on the kind of computer you have, the process is going to be slightly different. But as long as you can take a screenshot, that's what we're looking for. Sometimes on a Windows computer, it actually has a little print screen or a screenshot key that you can hit. Now that we've saved that up as a screenshot, let's jump back into Illustrator and place that image into here. Let's go up to File, down to Place, and locate that screenshot. When we say Place, it'll follow our cursor till you click once. In order to save up each of the different colors, let's choose our Eyedropper tool. With the Eyedropper tool selected, you can click once on one of the colors, and you can see how it automatically places it as your fill color in your swatches panel. From here, all you have to do now is choose New Swatch. This will bring up your swatch options. I'm not going to add mine to the library, but I will say OK. You can see how that's added now to that one. Repeat this process for the other colors. I'm going to choose the green one, create a new swatch, and say OK. the yellow, new swatch, and say OK. Orange, and then finally the red. New swatch, and say OK. Now I've got the 5 different colors that I can use for my overall design. The last thing that I can do in order to keep all of these together is hold down Shift and select all of my new 5 ones. Let's put them inside of their own new color group. By clicking on the group, it's going to ask you for a name. I'm going to call this Easter Colors. We'll say OK. Now that they're grouped together, they're inside of their own little folder, nice and set apart from the other color swatches. You'll need to repeat this process for each of the other 2 different colors that we're doing. But for this video, I'm only going to work through one of them and on one of the houses. Now that I'm done with this, we'll delete it away. Let's focus on building a house that uses specifically this particular color scheme. To build out a house, let's start off with just a basic solid rectangle. From here, I can also change my fill color to be whatever color that I want it to be, and I'm going to have my house be kind of a greenish color. We'll click and drag, and I'm going to start off with a basic little rectangle from here. Next, whoops, will it cancel? Next, let's add on the different parts to our house. We can start off with the roof. I can select one of the roofs that I've already created, and any one of these you can create. I'm going to copy it and paste it into position and place it on top of here. Now from here, I can do things like make it larger or smaller, scale it up or down, whatever is up to you. However you want to build out your house, I'm going to leave that up to you for you to do for your design. With that done, let's also add on some windows. So in my case, let's say I wanted to add one window here, so I'll copy this. Let's paste it into here, and I'm going to hold down Shift as I scale this down and place it on top of here. Now I can also start to think about the colors. If I was to place this in with this one, we want the windows to be their own separate color, but I don't just want them to be any color. I want them to fit the color scheme that we had selected. Same way for my roof. Maybe I want my roof to be a slightly different color, but again, I'm only choosing these colors to work within. So I've got 2 different windows. I'm just eyeballing their position for now. I think that looks good. Maybe nudge that one over. Let's give it another set of windows. I'm going to put these semi-rounded ones down here at the bottom. So copy and paste. And again, hold down Shift as you scale those down. Now at any time, if I want to, I can change up the shape and dimensions of these windows. For instance, let's say I think these windows are too tall and want to shorten them up. If I selected the whole thing and did this, you can see that I'll also shorten up the top edge and how rounded it is. That's not necessarily what I want. Instead, I'm going to use my white arrow selection tool, and I just want to bring in this bottom edge upwards. So I'm going to click and drag over these points down here at the bottom. Notice that they are filled in, but all the other points are not. Then I can use my arrow tools. I can nudge it up and move those up into place. Now I've got smaller windows without affecting the overall arch at the top. They're still grouped together, so I can place this on here. Let's put it right about there. Again, changing up the color, but keeping it in the nice same color scheme that we had for the other ones. Let's do the same for this one on this side. Let's add a door. I'll use this rounded door. Paste it in the middle. Hold down Shift as I scale it down. And of course I can move it around as well, place it with that. For this one, I can keep it like that. Let's add in a few other features on top of this too. I like the little planters, so I'll copy those over, paste them into here, scale that down. Let's put one of the planters down underneath this window. And we'll make a copy of that one, holding down the Option key as I click and drag, and put another one down here. Maybe I'll make this door just a little bit smaller so that it fits in there. Again, selecting these and changing up the color scheme to make it fit. Now with that done as my base house, I can expand this out even farther. So let's take the rectangle tool again, and I'll click and drag. Instead of it being just a single house on the side, we'll make a rectangle, and I'm going to send this to the back. We'll go up to Object, Arrange, and let's send it all the way to the very back so it's behind it. We'll set that to be there. Now I know I can't see the difference between these two, so before I do anything else, I'm going to select this, Just because I'm using this particular color doesn't mean I can't use a slightly lighter or darker one to distinguish between these two shapes. So with this one selected, I'm going to go to my color picker. All I've got to do is double click on this one here. I'm going to make it slightly darker. Notice how I've changed it just subtly so I can tell a difference. I say OK. That'll be enough of a difference that I can tell between the foreground and background. With this one, let's also give it a nice roof. Now for that roof, maybe we'll use a simple triangle. Copy that, paste it into here, and again, send it to the back. Object, Arrange, Send to Back. And let's change up the size and scale of this particular one. Now since that roof is going to be blue, I can do something like that. And again, select that. I'm going to make it just slightly darker so I can distinguish it between the other part of the house. If I don't like that, at any time I can always move it down to change it to a part that I do like. And maybe I like that little structure. Let's do something off on this side too. Again, grab a rectangle, draw it off, change the color of it. In this case, I want this color to match this color. That's where my eyedropper tool is going to come in handy. So I'll eyedrop and pick up that one. Nice. Let's send it to the back. Object and Arrange. Now it's behind everything. And let's give this also a different roof. So I'll copy that and paste this on here. So essentially you're treating this just like building blocks. Object and Arrange, sending it to the back, making sure you know the different stacking order of everything and placing everything where you want it to be. And then finally, if I want this roof to match this roof, this is where you can pick up your eyedropper tool, click on it, whoops, and change up that color as well. From here, now we can also add on the different features. So in my case, maybe I want to add on, let's do a copy of this, place it there, we'll get our little planter, put it on that side, and maybe on this side we'll also do a chimney. So I'll make a copy of my chimney. And place a chimney right there. I think it's a little bit too tall. If I wanted to make it more narrow, I could click on it and drag it in. And again, let's change up the color of it so that it matches and works well with our overall design. I like the look and feel of that, so I think that will work out for what we have. So there's one particular house that we have built. Once you have everything set, we'll make it a little bit larger. So by selecting everything and pulling from here, your job is to create two more houses, 3 houses total. Each of the different houses should have a different color scheme based on the other 2 images that I gave you. You need to use each of the different parts of the house, though you don't have to use everything that's on here. These are just here to help you out. But add on the different parts to a house and build you out 3 different options for houses. Once you've finished up with all of these, you can go up to File and Save. We're going to call this, make sure to have your name on it, Ivy Build a House, and set the format to be an Adobe Illustrator file. We'll say Save for this. From here, you can save and keep the regular Illustrator options and say OK. And once you finish out all 3 of your houses, in addition to all the parts of the house, upload that to the Moodle page for your exercise grade.